Hello everyone, this is Bev here at Clarkovision, and this is just going to be a quick update video really, but I also wanted to show a couple of extra items, kind of treats if you like, that I happened to discover while I was out browsing on the internet. You know, sometimes when you're just browsing around looking for what's on sale or what bargains certain sites have got happening, or if they've offers on or whatever. And so, excuse me. So I was, of course, happened to drop by Napalm Records website, and that's where I discovered a couple of interesting things, to the point where I had to get them. They were actually exclusives to that website because the band is signed to that record label. Anyway, so I'm going to show you so I thought you'll see why in a minute. I had to get that couple of items from there, and once I've shown them, I'll just show there's a handful of records and CDs that I've added to the collection in the last couple of weeks as well. So first of all, Napalm Records, as I say, the first order I've put in from them, and it turns out they're based in Austria, Napalm, and I discovered this was a limited edition that they had brought out, and I think can't remember exactly, but I'm thinking limited to 500. And this is the very first of this kind of thing that I've bought in the music world. You know, I guess it's just something I never was able to get into back in the day, probably because there wasn't as many and there wasn't as much money when you're a kid either. And nowadays there's so much more merchandise on the go. But this is cool merchandise, and so, you know, here's the box that he arrived in. So it's a Glory Hammer Collectible Figures Series 1. So by reading that, I'm assuming they're going to be bringing out more. And I've got them out the box so you can get a better look. But this is Angus MacFife the 13th. And it says here, the Interdimensional Prince of Dundee. Now, I think he's also the Crown Prince of Fife, I believe. So here he is, and this is what the figure looks like. It's kind of like a pewter effect. I'm not sure what the actual, what he's actually made of. Some kind of, you know, I don't think it's solid metal. It's quite heavy, but I don't think it's solid metal. It's just got the metallic look to him. So here's Angus MacFife from the Glory Hammer album series, in all his glory, shall we say, and his helmet, and he's got his big hammer here. This, I think he must stand, I don't know, what's that, 25 to 30 centimetres roughly in height. Down here that you can see, it's got his name emblazoned and inscribed into the stone. Very nicely detailed. And yeah, so this just slides out of his hands. So obviously when it was in the box, it was kind of, you know, these were lying together like that. So yeah, he's going to hang around my music room here from now on. I absolutely adore it. Because just with the Glory Hammer series and the whole, I think it's basically because of the Scotland thing as well, you know, because he's the Crown Prince of Fife or Dundee. I just live down the road from these places as well, which kind of, for me personally, adds an extra bit of charm, if you like, or whatever. So that's Mr. MacFife. So I'm pretty thrilled. I do want to get an Eddie of some kind, but obviously the Eddies are quite expensive, and there's so many. I'm kind of trying to look out for the Cyborg Eddie. I would like a Somewhere in Time Eddie if I can find one somewhere, but there's no big deal. So along with the Angus figure, Napalm Records had an exclusive t-shirt of Mr. Angus McFife as well, so here he is. And as you can see at the back of this one, it says Angus McFife 13th, Crown Prince of Fife on here, Glory Hammer. Whereas on here it says something, what does it say here? The Interdimensional Prince of Dundee, so he's various princes. So I thought I'd have to get one of these t-shirts, and on sale was this hoodie which I grabbed as well because it was reduced. I think they've got just a handful left, so I picked up a Glory Hammer hoodie. It's got Glory Hammer on the sleeves, and I can't remember what they call this hoodie, but that's the back of it as well. Very colourful, I think, so so I'm all Glory Hammered out at the moment here, so that was the merch, and now I'll just briefly go on to, I'm just moving Angus out the way here again for the moment, get on to the actual music that I've updated, and the first one, this is one of the pre-orders from the second half of 2019, I guess. This one came out just last month, September, at the end of September. And I ordered the CD because I had the first one on CD, and this is the second one, and it's from Corleone, and it's just titled 2. And this is Leo Leone of Gotthard, his project, where he is re-recording some of the old Gotthard songs, the early stuff. He's given them a refresh. Kind of as a tribute and a nod to the early Gotthard days with the late Steve Lee, because Leone and Steve Lee were the founders of the band initially. Now on this he has Ronnie Romero as the singer on here, and this Ronnie Romero, he's in Lords of Black. I think that's his main band, but he's in great demand, this chap. He's been guest appearing for a few people and asked to do various projects. I've been reading bits and pieces about him on the net as well, and they say he's been described, and you can hear it in his voice actually. He's very powerful, strong voice. He is a little bit like Steve Lee. I can see why Leo Leone opted for him, because he's a similar kind of voice, and he's got the range to do what Steve Lee did as well, but he's also been very much likened to Ronnie James Dio as well. So Dio fans out there, get checking out Ronnie Romero, and also he's been labelled as a cross between Dio and Freddie Mercury. As I say, he's really got a good range vocally and a very strong voice. So and you know, early Gotthard stuff, it's just straight traditional hard rock. It's just great stuff. So there's the CD. Nice kind of lion image there. And again, you get a nice little booklet. Artwork's kind of interesting. It's kind of half animal, half of the band members. Yeah, I think that's Ronnie Romero there actually, the singer. I'm just trying to see if there is an actual photo of the band in here somewhere. Oh yeah, there is. It's not too clear though, probably for the camera, because it's kind of black and white, but that is the band there. So yeah, but this is great stuff. I quite like what Leo Leone is doing with the music here. It's sounding, it's just kind of a more modern sounding hard rock, kind of up to date versions of the Gotthard stuff. And plus, I think there's also a new song that they put out as well, completely new on the album, which I think in this case is maybe, can I remember what one it is? No, actually. But anyway. But yeah, so that is Corleone 2. And the other one I went for was Magnum. This is another one of their more recent releases. One of their later albums. This is Sacred Blood, Divine Lies. That is the title down the bottom there. And again, it's got superb artwork. You know, the full thing. There you have it. An amazing picture you could look at all day long and see all the detail in it. This is the dual case edition with the bonus DVD. So you have a couple of videos, a couple of bonus songs with a photographic slideshow. You actually got 2 videos and 3 bonus songs. And you've got the actual original album, and it's highly unlikely that you'll be able to make out the track listing there, I don't think. So yeah, this is SPV Steamhammer, and there are the 2 discs and the booklet in the middle. Again, you've got the full artwork on the booklet. If you open it right out, obviously. And you've got, obviously, there's the band. And I just realised, actually, is it on this one? Yeah, I think. Aye. The drummer, actually, that now plays with Magnum is Harry James, which is the lad from Thunder. I think it was he Gary Harry James, he was known at the time. I think he just calls himself Harry James now. So he is actually the drummer who's currently with Magnum. Again, I really enjoyed this. This album is from 2015, this one. And it's really enjoyable. It's good stuff. It is very classic Magnum sounding, but it's obviously more modern kind of thing. It's a bit similar to Lost on the Road to Eternity. That's the latest studio album, which I have. But yeah, I do like this one as well. So that was the 2 CDs, and I grabbed 3 records. 2 of them are new. This is another one. It's another Magnum. Again, another one of their more recent. This is Escape from the Shadow Garden, and this is a reissue. This one was originally released, I think, 2014. I think this one, I think it was just before that one. But this is a 2019 reissue. On SPV Steamhammer, and it's a double LP gatefold, and it has a bonus track, Dance of the Black Tattoo, which is a live track. And again, it's, there we have the interesting bits of artwork kind of themed on this Shadow Garden, I guess. Now, with the Steamhammer stuff, they do very kindly send you a bonus CD of the album, which is what that is there. And you get 2 printed inner sleeves with the Steamhammer stuff. That is the band. They're standing at the entrance to the Shadow Garden, as you can see. And on here, you've got lyrics and a handful of credits up this corner, and it's also limited edition on sort of a transparent purpley, not sure how well that'll come out with, you know, with the light, but it's kind of a marbleized transparent purple. It's very nice, actually. So yeah. The other album is exactly the same, although the inner sleeve is a little bit different. You've just got another different picture, and I can't remember. I shall show you. But again, same as the other album, this one is really good as well. Some great classic rock tracks on here, and just great guitars. I'm undecided as to what one I prefer. Obviously I need to give them more listens. Yeah, there's thank yous on the back of this one here, and another photograph of that mysterious door. The vinyl's the same. So yeah, if you're not familiar with Magnum, people, and you're just into classic hard rock, this is definitely worth a check. And some of the Magnum stuff. I mean, Magnum have got a ton of albums, loads of them. I've still got so much to check out, which I'll get around to over the course of time, because I do quite like Magnum. So next album, this is another 2019 that I wanted. I didn't pre-order this, but I did decide that I wanted to get this because I only discovered this band this year, actually. So I'm new to this band, and it's Elven King. Again, apologies for the glare here. And this is this was released at the end of August. Reader of the Runes, Divination, or Divination. Another fantastic piece of artwork on the cover. Again, it's a double LP, gatefold, more amazing artwork. This one is on AFM Records, and this is a limited edition on blue vinyl. So AFM, you've got the band here, and they're kind of mysterious looking get up. You've got the lyrics here, but you kind of need a pair of binoculars, unfortunately, and the credits, etc. down there. They both just come in plain black inner sleeves. So I'll just bring out one of the records to show. This is limited edition blue. I think there's 200 on blue and 200 on red. And I think there was about 100 on clear vinyl. But I just, I wasn't overly fussed what colour I got, to be honest. But yeah, it's a nice bright blue. Very plain and distinguished looking label. So yeah, that's Elven King, Reader of the Runes. These guys are Italian, I believe, and they're kind of folk metal, symphonic folk metal. I have listened to it and I do enjoy it. It is very enjoyable. There is one song that I'm not keen of, and it's the first song on the side 3. I'm not even sure how it's pronounced, but it's I'll attempt. It's a Malefica or Malefica, I don't know, Doctrine, right? That song I'm not overly keen on because it's there's a bit of kind of growly style vocals in it, which that's not my thing. So for me, that song's a bit hard to listen to because it has a lot of that throughout the song. It's not all the way throughout the song. The majority of this record is standard clean vocals, but here and there's the odd bit. But that song seems to have the most, and yeah, I was kind of struggling with that one because for me it doesn't do anything for me, unfortunately. However, on the whole, it is a very good album, and if you're into a bit of folk style or symphonic power metal, they are worth checking out. So that's the third album I've got of these guys. I've got 2 CDs. And the last record is an eBay find, and it was quite interesting how this one came about because I was catching up again on some of the videos in the vinyl community, and I had just watched Darcy's video on his spotlight on Gamma Ray, and he was speaking about how the earlier, or any of the Gamma Rays, I guess, he never sees them on vinyl. And I had just stumbled across one on eBay, put in an offer, and the guy accepted it on vinyl, and it was described as near mint, which it is. And it's the very first, it's the debut Gamma Ray. And it came like this. Now, I had a quick look on Discogs, and apparently, I think it's the German pressing, comes in this outer jacket, the Kai Hansen outer jacket. Heading for Tomorrow is the album title. The UK press just comes in the standard jacket, I believe. But yeah, this is... I don't know if this was initially because perhaps he wasn't sure if he was going to just go by his own name, Kai Hansen, as a soloist, or if he hadn't decided on whether they were going to go with the name Gamma Ray or what. I don't really know what the reason behind this is, but I believe, according to what I've seen on Discogs so far, I haven't looked in depth, but I think it's the German issue, so I'm assuming this is a German issue. But I've had a look at it, and there's nowhere on it that actually says made in Germany or anything, or made in the UK even, or whatever. I do know it's European, I can tell you that much. So, but it just doesn't say where it's made anywhere. And you've got the labels and stuff. I'll be looking more deeply at it, and it's on Noise International. So the outer sleeve has a couple of marks, minor marks, but because it's had that outer jacket, it means this is mint, basically. Or near mint. There's just a couple of minor crinkles just on the edge. So Gamma Ray, Heading for Tomorrow, debut album. Noise International. I've never heard this one before. Well, I've actually just had it on the record player. I've listened to the first song and part of the second track. But I hold it off because I wanted to do the video, get that out of the way. So, yep, and this is 1990? Yep. Mixed at whatever, September 89 to January 90, so this was released in 90. And it comes with the inner sleeve. There we have it, there's Kai there, and I think Ralph Schaeffer's, this is the singer. From what I've heard of the first song, he sounds similar in a way to, he's a bit of a cross between maybe Kiske and Rob Halford, perhaps. I just thought he kind of had a bit of that about him. And Darcy said this guy went on to form Primal Fear. So, and lyrics. And the record is, as the guy said as well, it's equally near mint. You know, I think there's a couple of very light surface marks on it, and that is your centre label there, just black with sort of turquoisey blue writing. So I'm pretty certain this is a German pressing, but not 100%. So I was really thrilled to get this. Really, I thought it was a pretty decent price. But I got it for two. So, oh wow. I think there is a couple of others on eBay of this. That's not in right, it's kind of just down the side. I think there's another couple of these on eBay UK at the moment, but I think they're priced dearer or they're not in as good condition. But if anyone's interested in having a look at them, just go and do a search. But I just thought how coincidental that was that Darcy was mentioning the vinyl in these early ones, and I had just earlier that night ordered one. So I'm really chuffed. So I'm going to get back to listening to this very shortly. So that's my latest update, guys. Hope you've enjoyed that, and from Angus and myself. Angus is going to get a spot to sit in this room somewhere, I don't know where yet. And I shall sign off. We shall sign off for now. So thanks for watching, and catch us all later. Bye the now.